Hey guys, welcome back to the Baddies West After show. I'm your host Maher.
And I'm the baddest bitch of them all. I'm just saying. And it's Sage from GoldenBaby.
Nah, I like the first one better.
The baddest bitch of them all, representing for the actual West. I'm actually from the West, and we reviewing Baddies West.
You sound like all the girls that I interviewed for Zeus.
So we got to get into this. Nothing as, what dare I say, boring. I won't say boring.
I don't
I
think it
won't
was
say boring.
boring. It was just all based around one situation.
So we're finally on to episode 4. We finally left all of that Stunna Girl, Tommie, and Biggie shenanigans
Mm-hmm.
for now. And this episode, what do you think, Maher?
I didn't hate it. Um, the first thing I can say really is that Razer was doing a lot, and she was clearly severely intoxicated. And I think
Yes.
she made a big situation out of nothing. But I also don't want to downplay a situation where people might think that she was physically violated.
Yeah.
So like I didn't personally see anything wrong with what she did. I think she was just pointing at Razor's tattoos, but I think everybody has a right to say that they don't feel comfortable. I think she just brought it up the wrong way and resorted to being completely hysterical over the situation instead of like pulling her to the side. So I think
Yeah.
it was just really immature. And again, it was the alcohol. She was drinking tequila. Like I said, nothing good comes out of drinking tequila, and this is just example A.
Well, first of all, that pretty much just summed up every fucking thing. Like, there's really not much more input to be had, but we're gonna kiki about it.
Right.
But that's the thing, like I didn't really know what I didn't really have any words to even open up our review, because it's just like I feel like that was all like one big TikTok clip.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm waiting on the next thing to scroll up. Oh my god.
What happened? Please tell me your cats are alive.
They're alive. It's just
Okay.
something else making noise. You can keep this in, I don't care. But something else making noise in my little ghetto trap box that I'm currently in.
Not trap box. Stop it.
Anyway, anyway, yeah, like that was not much of an episode. And to be honest with you, I do want to review the show, but I also want to kind of talk about the state of reality TV and like Zeus Network, and how there's just not really much going on from episode to episode to episode. Like, I feel like by episode 4, we should have some type of storyline. Like, we haven't really heard of, okay, Stunner Girl's supposed to be performing. Okay, cool. But what about Stunner Girl's music? Like, we haven't really heard too much of a clip besides, I guess, the first episode. Like, we haven't heard anything of her story as far as music goes. Tommie's performing. I didn't know Tommie was still making music. You know what I'm saying? It's just like random to
Mhm.
me. So it's like there's so many other things that we could have tied into this, that could have maybe taken up maybe a good bit, but I would have liked to have something else happen other than Scotty and what is this girl? Razor.
Razor.
It's like 11 people on the show.
I mean, I agree because Zeus is infamous for just dragging on situations for an entire
Dragging.
episode when they really could have chopped it up into maybe 15 minutes, if not a lot less.
Yes, because that definitely could have been stripped down. And there's a reason why a lot of times these other shows that we used to watch prior to like all these streaming networks, it's a reason why they would have to cut stuff down and cut stuff out, because you have to carry on. Like, you can't have the same thing going on for 45 minutes.
Right. And you know, in other reality TV shows where the people, the cast will come online and say, "You guys don't know my life. You don't understand what happened. You saw
Yeah.
45 minutes of what happened in a week." Not with this baby. We saw the entire 48 hours of what happened in these 4 episodes. I don't think there's anything that we could have missed.
Right. Like, so we're finally in day 2, right?
Yeah.
Okay, we're in a night 2, I guess. But yeah, I mean, I guess, but it's still in the same sense. Like, me and you were talking off of YouTube or whatever about how they don't have a 24-hour production.
Right.
So, which I understand, especially for, when you have a Zeus network or any of these other networks who are kind of just getting started, they don't have 20, 40, 60 years in a game or whatever. You want to cut back on funds where you can.
Right.
But at the same time, even with Zeus, sometimes we do miss things because it's like, well, off camera, this, that, and the other. But it's like, I would personally rather want to see what's happening on camera and not hear it from the perspective of the cast member, because the cast member is going to tell it by their perspective, which could be completely far from the truth.
This was also speculated from a lot of fans, and I was thinking about it, considering the fact that they don't film all the time, and we were talking about it beforehand. Like, I think we talked about it last time, where I was like, oh, they probably just didn't catch it camera-wise.
Mm-hmm.
The fight where Lo got her lick back and she was wearing her hood, a lot of people were saying that they think that she might have actually gotten her lick back, and they did record it, but they just didn't want to show it because Krishan. And
yeah,
then, they didn't want to like piss her off.
Yeah,
that's kind of different to what we're talking about, but it was just something that popped up in my mind. But I agree with your statement with everything when it comes to like them missing something, because I mean, we both talked about that last time, how like they always are going to miss something because they're not filming 24 hours or as long as they potentially could.
Right. And honestly, when we were talking about that last time, it did go through my head at least once when I was thinking of like, that's kind of funny how they weren't recording, but every single time the girls are leaving to get on the bus to go somewhere else, it's like they always record them leaving every time. So I'm like, they probably were recording, because how y'all got the immediate after when y'all always record this scene.
Yeah, right.
So
it's just a coincidence that you're able to turn on the cameras right away to get at least the reactions from everybody else in the house.
Right. Yeah, that was a little funny.
When it comes to the whole filming situation, not being able to film like 24 hours, I kind of understand it, because at least from the production side, like I've used the cameras that they have and they're filming with, and they don't last long, whether it's battery or storage wise for memory cards. So they are probably having to swap out memory cards and like batteries every couple of hours. And I bet they don't have an unlimited amount of those, so they can only film for so long per day. And I think like with other reality shows, they use cameras that like can last for 10 plus hours. So maybe that's an issue, but also like, I think you can just have a bigger production team. I don't know. I don't know what the excuse is, like, because they're still doing it on TV. Maybe you could just use different cameras if that's your excuse.
That's what I was saying, because I don't want Sky up here telling me about what happened when the cameras was off and on. Like, maybe the viewer doesn't particularly like Sky, or they don't particularly like Krishan or Lo or Stunna Girl or whoever, so they're not going to be able to even receive what may or may not have happened, because you know how these viewers are. They, oh God, let it be their favorite or the one that they dislike the most. Nah, either they're gonna go with exactly what they said, or they're gonna discredit everything they said, and that person could be wrong or right.
Same with all the cast. I mean, DJ Sky is Krishan's girl, so she's always going to say that she never got touched, or she had the upper hand the whole time.
Right. So yeah, it's just, I don't know. I really just kind of miss, like, I guess is it called old school now? Are we that old?
Oh God, don't say that. We're the same age. We're not there yet. We're not there yet.
I was like, because we still young, you know.
Don't put us in that category. Oh yeah, and another thing, Michael just brought it up. They had surveillance cameras in the room where they were doing the photo shoot. So, like, do they not set up any other security cameras? That's the only time that they had it. And
maybe that was the place that they were at, and they just had access to the cameras.
Maybe.
Maybe they just like
maybe they just paid that house owner like a couple racks.
So definitely, because they ain't don't have no surveillance camera anywhere else.
Right.
But let's go ahead and get I gotta get my energy up, because you know how when you watching when you somebody else in the house is like, you got a kid watching CoComelon or something, it's just like, go to sleep. That's how I feel. Like, Jesus, this was just a whole lot of. And before we even start, I can't speak for you, so I'm gonna let you speak for yourself.
Okay.
But me personally, Like I'm not one to like discredit somebody when they say that somebody touched them any kind of way or anything like that, or tell somebody to shut up, or it's not that big of a deal, or it's not serious if they feel violated, or I mean, in my own life, I've been violated before. Like unfortunately, I think a lot of women and men, but I'm gonna speak for women because I'm a woman. A lot of well, I think they did like some kind of survey, and it was like out of all the women who answered the question, like, have they been sexually harassed before? It was like 97% of the women that they asked.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, it happens way too often, and too often it's just like overlooked or not not taken serious, or especially when it's two women.
Right.
And even I've been in a predicament to where I was working a job and I was harassed by, well, you'll edit that.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, by a female coworker. And I reported it like I was supposed to, and the boss over our boss, who was another female, came in and basically said, well, y'all just look like y'all are friends who had a falling out. So
what?
Yeah, so I've been there plenty of times with both genders. I've had a lot of stuff happen to me. So I am nobody to just be like, we gonna look over it, or you doing too much, or whatever else. So any of my commentary, any of my opinions doesn't come from that place. I'm just looking at this as a whole and based off of what we see, and also using my discernment, using my common sense. And as a grown adult, like, I'm not 17, 16, I have my little frontal lobe, it's already closed.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking with my decision making skills, or my critical thinking skills, that's what I mean. Like, that's where my opinions come from. So I just want to make sure I put that out there, that it's just, so if you want to make a disclaimer.
I do, because, and I don't want to say this and make it sound like I'm just agreeing with you because of the fact that you're my co-host.
Yeah.
But I mean, look, I have two older sisters, extremely protective. The current job that I'm working at, I had a very close coworker who was getting, I'll bleep it out, harassed by somebody, by a male coworker, and my coworker that I'm really close with is a girl, and I took it upon myself, because she was uncomfortable, to go to HR and to go to our like CEO and talk about it, because she was uncomfortable, she didn't want to bring it up, and I got that man fired.
Okay.
Because he would not leave her alone. She told him multiple times. So, I mean, I do not play with that. I'm all about women empowerment and making sure that people are comfortable. Of course, it can happen to a man also, but it does happen a lot more often to women. So, for sure, when speaking about this topic, I want to like tread lightly, but also I do still have my opinions. But I don't want to take away from how Razor could have felt in that situation, because clearly she did feel violated. So I'm just going based off of what I saw and how I feel, but I still think that she's valid for feeling the way that she did.
Right. And I also feel like she's valid as well. I don't feel like either one of them were wrong. I just think that with Razor being as intoxicated as she was, it turned it into a reaction that it didn't need to. It didn't need to go there.
Yeah, I think that it could have been brought up and spoken about in a way more calm way. But also, with that being said, something similar could have happened to her in the past. So she said it triggered her. So that could have totally happened in the past. And even though alcohol had a major play in it, I still think it could have been gone. It could have been brought up differently. But with that being said, do you think that Scotty should have just like apologized for potentially violating Razor, or do you think that she had every right to, stand her ground with where she was coming from?
I think it's both. It could have this is such a hard thing because it's such a gray area.
Yeah.
I think either way she went about it was fine. Like, me personally, what I would have tried to do is, as soon as she started speaking as if she felt violated, I would have just did it right then and there and been like, girl, look, I don't know what just made you feel like I did that. I don't think I touched you in any type of way, But if you feel like I did, then I want you to know that that wasn't my intention at all. And I will not ever put my hands on you again. And I apologize. And, we can go from there. That's just what I would have said because,
Yeah.
Miscommunications like that, like that's a serious accusation. So, but on the other hand, with Scotty, we already have this thing with Scotty, as in she sees what people say about her. There's a video out right now where there's some fans who recorded Tommie screaming and yelling at Lemmy, and Scotty's walking like past them, and they're like, I don't like her character. I don't like her. I don't like her character. She knows that a lot of people don't like her character based off of I don't really know what. I don't think Scotty has done anything that's dislikable in the sense of some of the other people who have been on some of the other shows. I just don't think that she is like turned up in the same way that the other girls are. So she knows the reputation that she has. So I think that in this instance, this was the first time on this season that somebody in her eyes is probably trying her, and she's just not gonna back down as far as apologizing or anything. So that's probably how she felt. And yeah, I mean, again, I hate to keep like going back to my own experiences, but even when I was in esthetician school, I had this one girl try to say that I was sexualizing this other girl, and like it's a whole it's a whole story. One day I'm gonna have to tell you about it. But yeah, and I never apologized because I know what I said and I know what I meant, and the girl wasn't even there. And so ain't no way I'm gonna apologize because some random ass bitch want to make a fucking big ass deal about it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So people do stuff in with all kind of different intentions. So I feel like either way it was fine.
And people know, if they've been paying attention and watching our after show, that I usually drag Scotty. But I'm not going to do it this episode. What I did notice when watching back is that right after Razer like brought it up and Scotty noticed that she was serious, I don't think she meant to do this, but like she was smiling the whole time and kind of like laughing at it. And I think that also triggered Razer even further, making her think that like, oh, you're taking this as a joke when I'm taking it seriously because I'm talking about you like violating my body. But yeah, I see where you're coming from, where you're saying like she could have, like, she didn't really necessarily have to apologize, but I also agree where I would have just been like, I'm sorry, that is not what I meant to do. I really just wanted to see your tattoos. I did not mean to like touch you inappropriately. I'm super sorry if that's how you took it. So please accept my apology and let's move forward.
Right.
But they were both drinking. So
yeah. Also, Scotty turned up way more than I've ever seen her. Like she was
yeah,
bitch, shut the fuck up.
Right. She kind of popped her in the sprainer when Krishan was. Can we talk about how Krishan grabbed the GoPro?
Child, Krishan thinks she a part of the production. Krishan said this her show, and she gonna film it how she want. Krishan probably got somebody editing a clip of it right now. She gonna post it to her TikTok, to her Instagram.
Not her getting a decent camera angle.
Yeah, what I'm saying. Like, Krishan, where you get that camera from?
Right.
And she chewing that gum, just like, Krishan, what did you do?
Oh my god! And she was drunk as shit, but she was holding that camera like steady enough to get another angle for us. So thank you.
She's like, I'm glad it ain't me this time.
I don't know if they added in a sound effect, but when Razer was trying to reach over and Scotty said, "Bitch, shut the fuck up," I heard a pop.
Yeah, I heard that too.
Yeah, I think she kind of got her.
Yeah,
We know nothing really happened during round 2. It was kind of just like them grabbing each other, and then when they got into the house, into the new house.
Yeah.
But I gotta say, again, I'm not gonna drag Scotty because I never expected to see her fight like that. I slowed it down. I think she got like maybe 1 or 2 hits in. I'm not sure if any of the others connected because the angle, but she was swinging.
Yeah, she wasn't having it this time.
And one thing is that Scotty's name needs to be changed from Scotty, what is it? The body? To Scotty the bunny, because have you not noticed every time she's about to fight, she hops? She like jumps up in the air and swings. She did the same with Rolly at the reunion.
She thinks she playing basketball, child.
Oh my god! And Razor, after this, your name needs to be Butterknife.
Why butter knife?
I can't do it. Like you're not sharp with anything after this.
Uh,
I can't. It's what it's.
oh, because why I didn't even make that correlation. I'm thinking about her name being Razor. I forgot it was a damn razor blade. It's a butter. Why? Oh, that was a slow moment.
It's okay. I've had a few of those during the after show. Have you not known? Like when the time when you made, I don't know, you'd be making all these references and
Yeah, so I guess it was my turn this time. But listen, why the fuck Natalie had that loaf of bread going down the side of her face like that?
Oh my god, stop it.
I'm tired, girl. Who is doing your edges? Like, why you got a fake makeshift sideburn?
Y'all, Sage is gonna trip over that loaf of bread. If you remember,
you have my full permission to put me tripped over that bread.
If y'all are real ones, you comment again. Fuck that bread.
Fuck that bread, bitch.
Fuck that bread.
Listen, so pretty much we pretty much said what we had to say about that, but I do want to go over like what actually happened and just I guess my little final thoughts about that specific situation, and then I guess we can go into whatever else, because I mean after that there's not much more to talk about. But so with this in the sprinter, not the sprinter because they're in a bus now. Why were they in the sprinter to be okay? When y'all had a bus, okay. Where was the bus? Okay. So why was y'all in that little ass sprinter to begin with when y'all had a whole ass bus? Where was the bus?
I don't know.
Child.
They can choose when they want to use what.
Y'all don't say, was it not ready? Was it getting the oil changed, tuned up, tires rotated? What the hell?
Well, look, hey, if we're being honest, there was a lot of alcohol thrown, so maybe it was getting cleaned. Maybe that bottle broke on Natalie's big head.
Oh my god!
I think it accidentally hit her, right?
Hold on, I gotta stop my cat from eating a rock. Give me 1 second.
From eating a rock?
Stop it. That was also, like every time, like last week it was my bank statement. Now it's a rock. Where did you find a rock? You don't even go outside.
I'm dead. Your cats do not fuck with you.
Anyway, so with the situation in the bus, so obviously a part of the reason why I feel like Razor also targeted Scotty is because Scotty basically started all the interactions. Scotty was the one that was like, let's play a drinking game, blase blase or whatever. And they played the drinking game. Krishan, I don't know what Krishan be baby. Krishan get active in all kind of ways. She over there licking Sky's tongue. I'm like, what is going on?
Man, that means I was eating my dinner too. I was sick. I can't. I'm tired of these girls sticking their tongues in each other's mouths. I mean, I'm part of the gay community. I'm not trying to say nothing like that, but I know they be drinking all day and their tongues are not brushed. Put them the fuck back in your mouth.
You have a thing with tongues being clean.
Look. Okay, I said I wasn't gonna drag Scotty today, so I'm gonna shut up about her. But all these girls need a tongue brush. That shit be white as fuck.
I don't know though. Like me and my friends, we don't just randomly start licking each other's tongues.
I hope not. That's
like I would probably cuss my friend the fuck out. Like, bitch, you can get the fuck back.
Right. Do not fucking lick my tongue. Because I know Krishan's tongue is like a cat's. The shit is probably strong as fuck.
Oh shit.
That tongue probably squats, deadlifts 315 like she does while pregnant.
Well, I mean, good for her and her partners, huh? I guess.
I mean, she must got no wonder blues with her.
Child. But so the vibe after the drinking game. So clearly you have Krishan being frivolous, bi-curious, right. Even though the last season she swore up and down, but okay, it's not giving that. You be the first one, but okay, live your life, girl, have fun.
Thanks.
Her and Lo with the boob touching, and are these real? These fake? You have nice boobs. Da, da, da. Then it goes from that to like people are I think Lo is like touching Sky's butt, like y'all got the nicest butts and
Right.
all this, and then of course the tongue licking and stuff like that. So this is already the vibe that's going on right now.
Everyone's all over everybody.
Yes. So not that means that you can just touch anybody or whatever, but I'm just saying, like, when you have a vibe like that, Razor, and again, if you have trauma and if you're like triggered by certain things, sometimes maybe you want to have fun, or like you're not thinking about that, but as soon as like something happens, it just triggers you. So I'm not in no way blaming Razor at all, but what I'm saying is like, okay, so if it's that vibe and you don't want to engage in that kind of way, me personally, even though she just called you over to check your tattoos and stuff like that, I wouldn't have taken my pants off.
I agree. Because I mean, she got damn near naked.
Yeah.
And her coochie hairs was about to pop out. So.
Oh my god.
But. And again, I didn't see her like grabbing all over her. I did see her pointing. I don't know if she pulled her thong or underwear to the side or anything. But yeah, I agree that I wouldn't be taking off like my clothes if I would be traumatized like that. But I'm also, again, not trying to take away from anybody and what they've been through.
Yeah. And then even Krishan said that she was the person who was touching her the most, and she never said anything to her. And I know I saw some, I was being nosy on the Instagram or whatever on Zeus Network, and I just saw some people talking about, well, why she didn't say anything to Krishan and Lo and whoever else if they were touching her too. Why was it just Scotty? And some people were like, well, just because you gave consent to someone else, I mean, it goes for everybody there. Yeah. And while that's true, it doesn't seem like she gave consent to anybody.
Exactly.
Literally, so I would be with y'all if y'all was like, if she did give consent to him and didn't say nothing to Scotty, and here goes Scotty just touching on her. But it just doesn't seem like she didn't really tell anybody, like, okay, you guys can touch me. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody had, because everybody seemed to be on the same level as far as what they did.
After all that was going on and people were trying to calm her down, Tommie was a pretty good voice of reasoning.
She was.
And I was very shocked. But she was, I mean, Razor was turning up on everybody. I get it, you're upset, but like, she was in people's faces. She was in Lo's face. I thought she was about to smack her.
I thought she was gonna get into it with her too, because it was a lot of like, I know that her breath had to smell like alcohol, like it, because you could see Lo's weave. Well, because Lo has, I think she had like tape ins or micro links. You could see her weave blowing in Razor's breath.
Blowing in her breath.
She was talking that hard. I'm like, Jesus Christ. But then, when they got, they popped off in the bus. When they get to the house, Biggie and I guess Rolly or someone else was like, it went down, who has the issue, whatever. And then her and Scotty start up again. And it's like, she kept saying like, I don't, because they met up twice, it looks like, at the same area.
Yeah.
And it was like, you said to me in the bus, this is that, whatever. But, and then they were like, what did she say? And she was like, she know what she said. She know what she said.
Right. And I was confused. Like, what did she say so wrong? And she would not repeat it. Everybody said, repeat what she said. And she was like, no.
That's what I'm saying. So like, why can't they know what she said? And if this was real life, not on a TV show, if she don't want to repeat something to somebody, I understand that. However, this is a TV show, right, and they're filming you. So everybody has on a mic, you're being filmed, and you're in a bus full of people, other women. There's at least 6 out of 11 of the cast there, or 7 out of 11. So if this was real life, I will understand, because you don't have to repeat anything to anybody if it's between you and that person or whatever, especially if it triggered you. Now, with it being on reality TV, not saying that she has to, but it doesn't make sense for you to be that up in arms about not repeating what was said, because when you're on a bus, if producers are there, and then it's, I think 7 out of 11 of the girls are there, you're filming, is everything's being recorded, everybody has on a mic. So you don't know in that moment, Razer didn't know what they were going to show. She didn't know what was going to be broadcasted on the episode. And she also didn't know if any of the other girls there were ever going to say anything to Natalie or Lemmy or whoever, or even like on Instagram or anything after the show. Right. So with that being said, it's like, well, why not just say what she said? And I'm not saying that Scotty didn't say anything, but it kind of seemed that to me that Scotty may have not said anything really disrespectful, but it was just that Razer was just so triggered that what she could have probably said anything and it would have just been something.
Later on, Razer said she's a liar and she's a groupie. And I was very confused about the groupie thing, but I was also worried, like confused about the lying thing, because is that what you're talking about? And if so, what did she lie about? Is it just that she lied about not touching your coochie, or what is it?
Yeah, it seemed as if that's what she was saying. And I think the groupie comment was about Natalie, because she immediately was like, oh, and you know, it was like, at first her argument was just, you know, oh, you touched this part, whatever the fuck. Then the argument went from that to you know what you said. Then the argument went from that to I'm violated, and then the argument went to you just mad because I got your friend.
I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, so it's like, what that's that drunk shit. Like,
that was so random. You just start hugging Natalie and saying, I took your best friend.
Yeah, like what? Then, you know, when everybody got back together again for the third time, it was you know, oh, well, you Scotty's like, you were twerking, and then she's like, yeah, I was twerking, and it's my ass, and that's my ass. I can go and do it my ass. It's like, so did she touch your ass? Like, was it an ass touch too that triggered you?
Right. I'm confused. Maybe like what they should do, I wish they would just like drop raw footage.
Yeah.
Of what happened.
Yeah.
So that we can just get confirmation. I mean, maybe she did touch her inappropriately and we just didn't see the full extent of it.
Yeah. But it doesn't, even if she did, it doesn't really seem like in that moment that it was intentional. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And also, I could also see, coming from like a person who's been traumatized, I could also see if, because at a lot of points, Razer was turned away from them. So I could also see if she felt a touch somewhere she didn't want it and just looked back, and it just so happened to be Scotty's hand was near that area, because you have a lot of light-skinned hands close to each other. Yeah. So it ain't no telling who hand is who, what, and where. Like, you just turn around, you just see some hands, and you already just felt something, because anybody could have touched you real quick and pulled back or whatever, but when you turn around, you see Scotty's hand.
Yeah, and she could have been literally talking to Lo or somebody else near the front of the bus, and Scotty's behind her pointing and touching one of her tattoos, being like, oh, I really like that, but you're not hearing what she's saying, you just feel her hand on you.
Yeah, just it could have been,
I mean, that's definitely understandable.
Yeah, but it could have been so many different things that happened, but to me, it really just kind of seems like Razer was triggered, right? And sometimes you can't help, even if you didn't do anything wrong, you can't help that somebody felt triggered and violated. Yeah. Because I'm not gonna say that's their problem, because that sounds insensitive, but that is their not their issue, because I know the way I be talking sometimes is so mean. and I don't mean it. That's how it comes. I'm just so straightforward.
I totally get what you're saying.
Yeah, but in the nicest way possible. That's her problem to deal with. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, you know, you have to, whatever it is that happened to you, if it's something that happened to you and we're correct, because I just want to handle this with care, you know, it's not the rest of the public's responsibility to know what your triggers are.
Right. So, it would have been a good part of her story so that we also know what's happened to her in the past. I mean, I think it will bring a lot of awareness if she were to be open enough to speak about it at the beginning of the show. And then also that would just give everybody a fair warning, you know, like
Right.
when we turn up, when we go out, you know, we might have fun, I might be twerking and stuff, but these are my ground rules and these are my boundaries. Please do not cross them, otherwise that'll trigger me. And
Right.
however I react after that is kind of like up to God.
Right. Because at the end of the day, like nobody wants to see anybody violated. Nobody wants to see anybody triggered or like, especially in this kind of way. Like all that other stuff, just like, okay, y'all just being ratchet. But
Right.
something like this, like I wouldn't want to see nobody feeling that way. And I also don't want to see somebody being accused of doing that if they really didn't mean that.
Yeah.
So.
But again, I really did appreciate Tommie for being the reasoning person and saying, act like the woman who has two businesses, who doesn't want to lose what they have just from this situation. I mean, I don't think that she was trying to take away from what she was saying, but
she was telling her like the act.
Maybe Tommie was pretty sober and she was like,
Yeah.
you know, like don't be like that. You know, I've been there and I've taken myself that far a lot. So I'm looking out for you and just be the bigger person in the situation, or just try to calm down to where you can at least have a conversation about it and not just fight the entire time.
Right. I did like Tommie this episode, and I think that sober Tommie, like the real Tommie, like the real Tommie is the shit. Like she on her stuff, like she's mature and everything. I don't know where that other stuff be coming from though.
Right.
I don't know what be going on. But I liked her confessional looks. I thought they were cute. And I like Tommie was really on her boss producer tip. Like she holds her producer title very well.
Yeah, agreed. How did you feel about the fact that Natalie kind of told them to square up one more time and to let security let them go, even though she's considered Scotty's best friend on the show?
As a producer, like, you know, do what you do.
Yeah.
I don't know. For me, I would want my friend, producer or not, to ask me if I'm okay with that first.
True. I mean, she did ask her, like, do you want to fight again? And I guess Scotty was saying something along the lines of, if she wants to fight, we can. But
yeah,
I think that it should have been like maybe a side combo.
Yeah. Because then you had Sky there, and Sky don't have nothing to do with that.
Right. Well, can we talk about how Scotty picked up a fucking fork?
Did you pick up that random ass fork? I didn't see a plate or nothing.
I'm dead. It was just a random fork sitting on the
random ass fork. Like, Scotty, put that damn fork down.
What you gonna do? You gonna stab her eyeball out?
You know what I'm saying? This ain't even, girl, you doing too much, because you can't go from non-fighter and skip everything else and go to stabber with a fork.
Right. You're not gonna do Stunna girl. Oh, no. Allegedly. Jesus. I was just shocked as to like how Scotty was like after the whole fight and the whole situation. Like we've never seen her like this. We've never seen her so turned up, other than the reunion with her and Rolly. I mean, she was like really pissed off, but at the same time, like once the fight was done, like a good 30 seconds after, you know, she was still trying to get through the security. But afterwards, I mean, she was able to calm down and try to at least talk to Razer about it, but Razer wasn't having it.
Yeah, Razer was not having that. Like, I was like, I'm gonna look at you in your face. And after she said that, she didn't say anything.
Right.
Like, you gonna look at her in her face and what? Like,
and you what? Like you almost got somewhere.
You know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm gonna look at you in your face, and then I'm gonna call Pizza Hut and order a large cheese pizza. What?
That sounds kind of good.
It does. But I mean, it was just like I'm hearing Razer out. I'm like, what's she gonna say? All of a sudden, it's like, what? I don't even remember what she said after that.
It's happened to me before when I've been so drunk to the point where I have an issue with something and somebody, and I had it in my mind before I bring it to them. But then the time comes where I bring it to them and I completely forgot what I was going to bring up. And I think that may have been what happened.
Probably because she was talking about it before. She's like, I'm going to look her in her face just like I did last time. I'm like,
right.
Then she was like, I'm not going to sneak you no more.
You didn't really, what, did you sneak her?
Wasn't she just upset at Krishan sneaking Low?
Oh, right. Exactly.
I'm not going to sneak you no more. What? Razer, leave that Casamigos alone.
Right. And girl, I feel you. I will leave Casamigos alone as well because I did not have a good experience the last time. So we both learned our lesson.
I don't know what's going on with y'all brain cells, but Casamigos don't do nothing to me. I be sitting there ready to go to bed. Wasted my time, all these calories and sugar. Don't feel nothing.
And next episode looks so. Is it bad to say that it's boring?
Oh no, it's that next episode is gonna be just like this one.
It's gonna be a dud.
Stunna girl finna get on my nerves because don't why like come on now.
I don't even remember like the only thing that I remember that happens in the preview is them performing, right?
So Natalie wants Stunna and Tommie to talk like how all the other girls have been talking.
That's what that is. Yeah.
Yes.
I knew that was the only thing that.
And so after, mind you, for the viewers, I did end up watching more in depth the clip of Stunna and Tommie at the audition. So basically, it seemed like what's the girl? Sukihana. Stunna girl was going up to, going up to talk to not Tommie, Natalie.
Yeah.
And Tommie was like, "What y'all walking up here for? Y'all ready to fight or something like that?" And Tommie stood up, and the chair had like she stood up, like the chair fell back, like, "What's up?" Right. So I was like, "Girl, what the?" And she wasn't necessarily talking to Stunna girl; she was talking to everybody that was walking up. So I'm like, "What the hell?" Like, Tommie, calm down.
Right.
So at some point, I think Stunna girl was like, because the whole time they was like, Tommie was like, "Tell me about yourself, Stunna girl." Stunna girl was like, "Y'all already know who I am. Everybody know who I am." Which people do know who she is, but like not like that.
Yeah.
So, I don't know what she was thinking. So, she went up, and then that's when Tommie was like, "Well, I don't know you, so I'm just trying to ask." And she was like, "Suki know me, And Suki was like, "Okay, but Tommie don't know you." And then that's when everything just went left or whatever. But while she was arguing with Suki, Tommie did randomly throw a drink, just random. Okay. And it wasn't like a swoosh. It was like a doop.
Right.
Like a toss. Like, let me just throw this real quick.
Tommie's messy as fuck.
Messy, like, girl. And then remember I told you, Tommie probably don't even remember that shit. Right. Because the way she threw it, there's no way she expected that to hit her. She was just throwing shit to throw it.
Like, you didn't watch that footage back just as much as she did before you went on the show?
That's what I'm saying.
You gotta study the cast that you're about to film with.
Right. But given just everything, I feel me personally, that was like it was barely anything in there, and it was like a plastic cup. Mm-hmm. Me personally, I'm not Stunna girl, I'm not from where she's from, but I would have let that shit go. Like, okay,
I mean,
it didn't even hit me.
Yeah, I mean, if it's a whole drink, I'd probably like bring it up to you on the show, and then if you get an attitude, maybe we can fight, but I don't feel the need to sneak you for it.
Yeah. I mean, I get it. And some people are just built like that. They like, well, I don't give a fuck what it was. It could be a fucking tissue, but but all this was very unnecessary, I still feel like she was righteous in her feelings. I would have never went by it that way. Mm-hmm. So now in the next episode, Nat's like, let's talk whatever. And basically what we saw is that Tommie was like, I didn't know you, I didn't know who you were. And then Stunna says something like, it's just, that's what I was talking about last week too. It's like Stunna girl doesn't know how to have a conversation in a way that's going to dispel the issue.
Yeah, she's just always hostile.
Yeah. And like, I know a lot of people from the Bay and Sacramento, they just talk like that anyway. But at the same time, it just comes with having communicative skills, knowing how to talk a certain way in certain areas.
Yeah.
And she don't know how to do that. So therefore, they get to talk. And now at that point, now I'm like, all right, Stunna, you're going to get on my nerves because why you throwing apples, whatever it is she threw.
Is that what she threw? Like, she throws too much shit. Like, damn, just run around there or something if that's what you want to do. Stop throwing.
You ain't gonna make it. Ain't gonna make it. They ain't gonna make it.
Right.
But yeah, I feel like at this point going forward, I feel like she is probably gonna get my nerves because there is no reason why this should be carrying on until episode 5.
At least attempt to have the conversation without going in there thinking that you're gonna fight. Because that's not
Exactly.
going to solve anything. If you go in there as hostile as you were when you first started talking, like, or when the show first started filming, nothing's going to get resolved, and it's just going to be another fight, and it's going to go the whole season.
Yeah.
And that's just not entertaining. Like, I say this every single time. Yeah, we enjoy the fights, but let's get a conversation going and see if you guys can at least resolve the issue and squash the beef. Because after 2-3 fights, it's too much.
Right.
At least 2-3 fights with the same people.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even at this point, I don't know what Biggie and Tommie, I'm not Tommie, Stunna, it's too many fucking people. I, I don't know how their issues gonna be brought back up again, but I really don't even care to see it. It's like, I don't give a damn.
By the way, I'm keeping that part in where your cat was eating a rock.
That's gonna be a running issue. Like, just next thing you know, she's gonna be drinking my Dr. Pepper. Like, I don't know. And I have multiple cats, so it's not always the same one. It's just,
oh god,
yeah.
But it's okay. They bring entertainment. They're like our co-hosts.
I mean, that was pretty much it. There's nothing else to talk about.
Right.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's something we can slide in there, but at one point Tommie was like, because Biggie, Tommie was like, what happened? Biggie's like, what's the people name? I can't remember their fucking name.
You got to do your voice a little bit deeper than that.
Okay, because I could do it. Yeah. She was like, what's their name? Who was fighting Razer and Scotty?
Razer and Scotty, yeah.
Scotty Razer, they just get the fighting, and then when they get the fighting, and then like, you're so Dominican, and then what the
who was the one that said you gotta speak English?
Tommie was like, bitch, she's like, you gotta speak English, and she like, I'm not speaking English, yo soy Dominicana. Like, okay, we get it. Like, be proud of who you are. Okay, Miss Girl, yes, Dominican Republic, but we can't understand you.
Right. We know you're Dominican, girl. Like, bring the pride, but like, come on.
Yeah, to bring the pride, but put it to the side a little bit more. Like, come on now. I need to, because we already don't understand you to begin with in English.
And they are not paying anybody to create subtitles.
No, but we need a translator.
We really do.
Because what did you say, man? I want to know what you said.
Like, the next time that her and Stunna Girl fight outside, she probably says something in Spanish that Stunna Girl doesn't even understand, so she doesn't know why she gets hit.
You know what, too? Like, that fight with her and Stunna Girl outside, one thing that I noticed is that every other time Biggie is about to fight somebody, she be like funny. Like, because she got a real comical personality too.
Yeah.
So she be like, yeah, yeah, you know what I'm saying? But that time she wasn't doing all that. Did you notice that? I wonder what happens. Right.
She just said, bitch you said, or bitch you did something, and then she popped her.
I wonder what happens. I guess we'll have to see. Well,
next week's episode can already like be gone. Like, can they drop 2 episodes or something? Because
I'm saying,
y'all, if we don't have anything to say for next episode, that don't get mad at us. We might just have to. We might have to wrap like episode 5 and 6 together.
Yeah.
So we will make an announcement if we're doing that, but until we come out with our next episode, Sage, where can they find you?
All right. At this point, y'all know where y'all can find me over on YouTube. Well, you're already on YouTube. Here on YouTube at GoldenBaby. I'm still GoldenBaby right now. Don't know how much longer I'm gonna be GoldenBaby, but yeah. Woohoo!
All right, guys, and be sure to follow me at Donttouchmaher on Instagram. Subscribe to YouTube channel, Mo Visuals. Be sure to subscribe to GoldenBaby on YouTube. And comment down below what you felt about this episode. But please do us a favor and tread lightly. We're gonna have a little bit of a boundary with this one. We don't want to bring too much. We don't want to bring the disrespect to a very sensitive topic. Yes. So yeah, be sure to write "fuck that bread" again.
Hey, listen, I don't want to see none of y'all foolishness, okay? Because I'm gonna get him to make me a moderator, and as soon as I see some stuff, all right, don't get blocked.
Right, exactly. And we don't play with that because Michael's a moderator too.
They don't even know who Michael is.
Even though y'all don't really know who that is, he's a part of the team. Okay. He's
Hey,
in the
listen, so somebody last week was in the comments like, I like your co-host. I like her voice. You know what I'm saying? But she a Stunna girl fan, and we need to get a
right.
Tommie. Well, baby, I'm not a fan of none of these women, though. Nobody pay my bills but me.
And not only that, we weren't really Stunna Girl fans today, so.
But I think I replied to him. I was like, we don't really like her.
I mean, I don't think we like. Do we love anybody?
I mean, anybody can get this commentary, okay?
Right. And if you don't like it, still watch, please, because we need the watch hours. Appreciate it.
Appreciate it.
All right, guys, we're gonna let you go. We hope you enjoyed. Do the hashtag fuck that bread. Subscribe, follow us, and hopefully we'll be tuning in next week.
Hopefully.
All right, Sage. Take care of your cats. Maybe sure that don't be eating rocks.
If they're alive.
Oh. Oh. Okay, be sure to grab the rocks out of their esophagus and don't let them sniff those flowers that they could die from.
Baby, the flowers gone, child.
Yep. All right.
All right.
All right. Have a good night. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.